For this week's assignment, I did my topic on race and ethnicity. My name is Jessica Martinez. Race and ethnicity have always been thought of being the same thing, yet they're different. Race is known as a grouping of people who share in physical and social qualities and characteristics. Ethnicity, on the other hand, is coming from a specific cultural background than the race and citizenship one carries. In olden times, race was significant in setting white people apart from people of other races. Being white was considered to be dominant and supreme. This is considered racism. Racism is defined as prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed towards someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. While some hold on to this truth, society has done its best in pushing away this ideal. Fast forward today, in 2020, inquiries about race show up in surveys such as today's census. Categories of race go as white American, black African American, Native American, Alaska Native, Asian, Pacific Islander, Hispanic/Latino, and other races. I've always had a hard time identifying myself, but early on I've learned to identify as Asian. Those of Asian race are those of having origins in Far East, Southeast Asia, or the Indian subcontinent, and this includes the Philippines. My heritage and ethnicity is Filipino. I primarily identify as that, but I also have Spanish and Portuguese ancestry and other things that I still need to find out about. Based on associations with my skin color and name, people would refer to me as that brown girl or brown person. Because look at me, I'm brown. Because my last name is Martinez, people would automatically think I'm Mexican, but I'm not Mexican. And the first time I ever heard that Filipinos are Mexicans of Asia was when I was 18 and working at McDonald's. And I kind of thought this was funny and something I never really thought about. However, I'm not the only one who gets referred to based on the color of skin. African Americans are regarded as black, Chinese people are regarded as yellow, and Native Americans are regarded as red people. As a person of color, I am subject to oppressions such as racism, discrimination, and colorism. I dealt with a bit of colorism growing up. I'm naturally darker than the rest of my family, and when I was younger, my mom used to shame me for getting too dark and try to push whitening products on me. I never understood her desire for me to be lighter, but it is part of Asian culture to think that lighter is beauty. Luckily, I grew up to appreciate my skin for the way it is. Knowing the difference between race and ethnicity, I can confidently say that I'm Filipino Asian, Pacific Islander, American. I include Pacific Islander because my mom did grow up in a rural island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. My parents migrated from the Philippines back in the 90s and gave birth to me in the United States, which makes me first generation and an American citizen. While the concept of race was bred from a dark past of racism, we live in a nation with a beautiful variety of people of many races and nationalities.